kumaliza hii sekta.
Right, now we get to our conversation where we are talking about the logistics industry, and we are also looking at how technology is coming into logistics industry in order for it to make it easier. And joining us is Balkis Chepkonyi, who is the CEO of Fleet Simplify, which is a player in this particular sector. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
All right, now let's get right into the conversation and even look at now you getting into logistics space. First of all, how did it even start?
Okay, thank you for that question. So when it started, I was actually a vehicle owner. So back then I was working in an oil and gas company. And at that point, as middle income earners, you're always looking for an extra hustle. How can you invest your money, your hard-earned income? And so at that point, the ride-hailing platforms had already launched in the country, and providing vehicles for drivers to drive on this platform was actually one key area where we could actually invest our money. So then I invested in a vehicle, and it was making money on the ride-sharing platform. And then that is where I encountered challenges managing my vehicle. And this is how I came across a challenge that needed my solution. Right.
Right. And since when you started up to now, how has the market been? When you look at the fleet industry and you look at the logistics part of it, how has it been?
Okay. So back when we started, the market was quite smaller, and even the vehicles that were operating back then was slightly different from what we have now. So right now we've seen a huge demand, as the ride-hailing platform is actually expected to grow by 16% CAGR between 2021 and 2026. And this is powered by the rapid urbanization that we are seeing across the continent, where we're expecting that by 2030, over 50% of Africa's mostly young population will be living in the urban areas. So to meet this demand, and we've already been seeing, high urbanization. If you look at even the housing, the pressure in the housing, and so many high rises coming up, even in Kilimani area and other areas of the city. So this is evidence that there is a lot of pressure on the infrastructure in the cities to accommodate more people coming in. And this is also applying to the mobility infrastructure as well. All
right, and now let's look at technology and how it's coming in, because everyone right now wants to move into the digital platform, into the technology part of doing business, and also how to simplify it. So how has technology come in, and what are some of the advantages of even technology within this particular sector?
Right. So technology gives us access to actually three things. So there is cost, convenience, and quality. So through technology, we can leverage these technological solutions to increase efficiency and therefore reduce the cost of our products and services. So for example, if you look back before technology, when a truck would carry goods from, let's say from Nairobi to Nakuru, it would come back empty. And so those are the empty runs, which are actually quite expensive because there's fuel, there's a driver you're paying. So we leverage technology because when the truck goes to Nakuru, it actually comes back with a return trip. So that makes the cost of delivery actually cheaper. So technology is helping us to reduce costs, and with that we're also able to offer more convenience to the users. So what that means is that if you're in Nakuru, you're able to receive your goods, you're actually able to track your goods as they move across. So you're able to fulfill your orders based on what you're seeing, as opposed to back in the day where you would not tell actually if your goods were arriving on time. So all that downtime is now removed by technology. And then in addition to that, there is the element of quality. So quality comes in because now your quality of service to your customers is increasing, because people are able to receive proper communication in good time on when they expect their goods, when they expect their services to arrive.
Right. Now, even as you've explained that, now let's move to Fleet Simplify. From even the name, Fleet Simplify, what is it all about, and what sets it apart? And when you look at it, how has it come into the market, and when did it even start?
Okay, so at Fleet Simplify, we're a platform that monetizes vehicles in the ride-sharing space. So what we do, we connect gig drivers who are driving, for example, on Uber, Bolt, Little Cab, for us, and other platforms. We give them access to vehicles, which they can drive and earn a decent living. While on the other hand, we enable the vehicle owners to make an extra income off of their investment. So what sets us apart is that we actually guarantee our vehicle owners return on their investment. So this is one of the biggest pain points that vehicle owners in this market face, is that you find that they're middle income earners who are in their day jobs, and they're looking for ways of making an extra money, some extra income out of their day jobs. So when they invest in vehicles that are operating the ride-hailing platforms, they actually struggle with driver management and vehicle management. Because when your vehicle is on the road, there's going to be issues around it. There is a breakdown, there's an accident, and they don't have the time, neither do they have the expertise to actually deal with the issues that are arising around their vehicles. So we give them a peace of mind, and we ensure that their vehicles are actually well taken care of. We ensure that they have a steady return on the investment that they've made.
All right, and now let's look at sustainability and trying to look at also how to conserve the environment. Now we have electric vehicles coming in. We have all this talk about e-mobility. So what is your stand, especially when it comes to e-mobility, and are we seeing you getting into this space also?
Yes, that's a good question. Kenya is actually leading the drive or the transition towards e-mobility on the continent. And with, I think, more than 90% of our energy sources being renewable, we actually have a good head start to this transition.
Yes.
So for Fleet Simplify, in as much as currently we operate at the ICE vehicles, we're actually at the forefront in transitioning our fleet into electric vehicles. So we believe that it is part of our duty to diminish the carbon footprints in our cities, because we are the people who are powering mobility. So when you think about how is our city moving, how is our city moving? So this is a question that we constantly ask ourselves, and we want to be at the forefront. We want to introduce electric fleets to give to our drivers who are now able to deliver services in electric vehicles.
And even speaking about drivers, how many are you within your platform, and how many vehicle owners do you have in your platform?
Okay, so since we started, we've actually monetized over 500 vehicles, and we've worked with more than 3,000 drivers. So as you realize, we're a gig platform, and so we do not work with restrictive contracts for the drivers. So that is why we've worked with more drivers, up to 3,000 drivers up to date.
And with the 3,000 drivers, I believe there are some of them who maybe have challenges, especially when it comes to accessing this particular platform and even how they work it out. So for example, if a driver wants to come into the space but they don't have the knowledge of this, do you have maybe training that they usually undergo, and what goes into this?
Yes, so we actually pride ourselves in being a pro-driver platform, as well as in establishing an ecosystem that works for everybody. So if you look at this ecosystem, we have the ride-hailing platform, we have the vehicle owner, and we have the driver as well. So behind the scenes of your trip, when you request a ride on, let's say, Uber, behind the scenes is a driver who needs to get access to a vehicle. So some of the challenges that the drivers face, because drivers don't earn so much money, they probably will be considered among low-income earners. So through our solution, we break that barrier of access to vehicles because of the high initial cost of vehicle ownership by giving them direct access to vehicles without having to raise significant amounts to be able to start driving. And when it comes to the issue of training, we understand that drivers are they need to learn how to use all these solutions, the technology solutions that are coming up. So we have, through our platform, we enable drivers to get access to some training. So looking at how to drive, better, how to offer better customer service to the clients that they're carrying in the bus, on the ride, and how to also take good care of the vehicle. So this is part of our package to the drivers.
All right. Let me just hold you right there. We're going to go for a short break. But when we come back, I would like us to talk about having your business in the digital space, and what are some of the advantages of having them even on the online space. And you'll also mention to us about Google, that you're now supporting you as a startup also. All right. Now we're going to go for a short break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Balkis Jepkonyi, so stick around, don't go too far.